Intuitive Edge here. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me. This is where we take an intuitive look at what's going on in our world. So I want to take a look at an issue that has been coming up in the news, specifically at the Democrat debates and town halls that they've been having, and that is I guess you could call it a war on meat eaters or a war on the meat industry. There seems to be a concerted effort by some to want to somehow crack down on people who eat meat, or to bring awareness about meat eaters and to change their behavior and punish people who eat meat. Now I have, just to digress for a little bit here, I'm not a huge fan of, killing animals, especially if animals are treated inhumanely. There are ways to kill animals that are a lot less, a lot safer, a lot more humane than others. And I'm especially against halal meat, because those animals are ritually tortured and abused. And that part I don't like. I myself tried being a vegetarian for a while, and it did not work for me. I just did not feel good. It did not jive with my body type, my system. I went back on meat and more protein and just felt tons better. So it doesn't work for everybody. Some people, vegetarianism works great, and to that I say great. What I do is I try to find organic meat that is humanely treated. I do my part in that way, because I don't, like I said, I do not like to see animals tortured. But if I can find animals that are treated humanely and with a quick death, yeah, that makes me feel a little better. And I do also try to eat less meat, So that's just to give you a little bit of background about where I'm coming from on this topic. But when I see a political party or some type of political action committee or group that is trying to use legislative powers or trying to use the power of a party to crack down on people's behaviors and preferences, that gets my little tingly sense going, and I don't like to see that, because this is, people need to have the freedom, and I keep wondering if there is something else involved. Whenever I see a politician or somebody saying, yeah, we need to ban straws, or we need to ban cheeseburgers because they're unhealthy, it's not that person, I guarantee you, does not care at all about some fat slob who eats cheeseburgers every day. They don't care about that person. They could care less. What they care about is something along the lines of power, or being in control, or finding something to be able to tax so that they can have money to spend. To me, it's always about an ulterior motive. I never take these people when they come at it from a political point of view. Now, if you have a point of view, don't eat cheeseburgers, that's fine. But for a political party to come out and start saying, yeah, we're gonna crack down on people consuming hamburgers, that gets my attention, because it's not about caring about people's health. There's some other motive involved. I'm just telling you, that's how it is. That's how I see it, and I know I'm right, okay? All right, so I don't always say that I know I'm right, but on that, I know I'm right. Okay, so I wrote out some questions just to kind of see from the cards what is this behind this vegan push. It's not just about banning cheeseburgers. There's actually this push too, along with that, is to change people to eat vegan, not just vegetarian, but vegan. And I noticed that what was it, Burger King, I think, came out with this veggie burger that's supposed to just taste just like the Whopper, just like the real thing, but there's no meat. It's like, okay, maybe people are wanting that. Maybe they're in the market, they're in business to answer trends that their customers and their consumers want. But is there something behind that as well? My monkey brain just runs with these kinds of theories. That's just how I am. Okay, so the first question I have is, why is this being done? What is this agenda behind veganism and getting rid of hamburgers and policing the consumption of meat? Okay. Now, I started to look at these cards, and then I thought I need to start this video because if I get too far in the weeds, this is taking me in a weird direction. So I got to the first card and got this video up going. So I'll start with where I started. This is the first card on that question: what is behind this policing the consumption of meat and wanting to turn people vegan? Now, this is the Two of Fire. This is a card about having an open mind or changing your worldview. As I looked at this card, when you see that cat in front of that window and it's like open up to a different perspective, this card, I began to see like looking into like a different dimension, looking into a different, like taking two sides and trying to bring about one perspective. But I also got the feeling of bringing in another dimension, like opening up another dimension. Now I have to bear with me here because I'm hoping this will make sense by the time I get around to the rest of these cards, because that was kind of like trippy. Like what is that purpose of bringing something, either bringing something in from another dimension or causing people to have or wanting to bring about one particular worldview, but it's opening up something too. So let me keep going. The next question is who is behind this? Who's really behind this? You know, it's not going to be someone who just cares about people's health, okay? Who's behind this? Now I've got the Four of Fire. Show you that card here for a moment. It's a picture of these cats and they're looking at this ball of light coming down and everybody's going, ooh, ah, right? Okay, this is going to sound weird. When I think of that first card and like that, something about opening another dimension, and then I see this card about this beam of light coming down, makes me wonder if this influence is otherworldly. Now, I know that's going to sound weird. Before you turn me off, bear with me here because this sounds weird to me too. But I'm wondering if there's some influence from another dimension that is wanting to turn humans or open their perspective to give up meat. Okay, we're getting in the weeds here, aren't we? Next question. What is their goal? Now, with this one, I have the World card. And again, there's a beam of light shining in. Oh, this is weird, guys. Check out this World card. And you've got this, the sun, but it's like this beam. Similar to this card, it's got that ball of light coming down. Hopefully you can see these without the glare. But this has that beam, and this is about the world. Changing the world. And again, we have, similar to this first card, the doorway, the portal, the other dimension, looking through into another dimension. Okay. Okay, the next question is, will they succeed in their mission to police the consumption of meat or be behind this movement to abolish meat consumption, I guess. Well, they succeed in that mission. We've got the Fire Kitten. Now this card, I had to sit with this for quite a while and just get my impressions on it. And again, we have that light coming in. And I had to think, okay, is this the light as in the other three cards with this light coming in? And is this like, you know, people, this is a messenger for one. It's a message of creative energy, but this cat is like playing with this flame, and it's this kind of like almost a caution card to be careful what, you know, when you're playing with fire. And I was asking internally, is this light represented by that light, bringing light or change to the situation, or is the they in their mission, whoever they are they represented by the cat trying to mess with the light? So I had to really sit with that, because I got kind of a bad feeling. It's just this dark up here. It just kind of gave me this feeling like this cat is like trying to meddle with the light. Well, being careful not to get burned, but so before I answer that, I want to look at the last card. The outcome for those who are in the meat industry or for those who eat meat. What's going to be the outcome of all of this on that? And we've got the 8 of Pentacles. This is the 8 of Earth in this deck. So Mama Cat with her kittens behind her. This is a card of working on something, having to be productive, having to go work on something. The underneath card is the upside down 10 of Swords. And this card is like feeling backed into a corner or having to change, like forced change. So I'm wondering if the outcome is going to be having to rework things or work on something a little more, roll with some changes, make some changes in how you do things. Having to move, go in a new direction. But I still am going back to that tricky card with that cat playing with the candle. It's like trying to mess with the light or mess with the truth. So I'm going to do another video. I'll tack it onto this one. And I want to look at this a little more specifically and see if we can get a little more clarity on this. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, that last segment was really strange in my book. Kind of took me down some kind of eerie rabbit trail paths that I didn't anticipate going down. So I want to take a look at this again. I've written out 5 more questions. We're going to try to run through this a little quicker. The main thought behind these questions is, what is behind this leftist, it seems like, leftist agenda to ban meat and meat consumption? What is going on here? So what is the purpose of turning the human population vegan? Our first card is the 5 of Sea. And as you can see, this cat does not look very happy. He fell into a pool. Cat is not naturally inclined to be in water, not generally. But the 5 of Sea is about sadness or having to move on from something, having to deal with a difficult emotional challenge or emotional loss. So on the question of the purpose of turning the human population vegan, and we've got that sadness card. Again, I'll show you. Also that cat not being naturally inclined. like forcibly change. It's a forcible change. Okay. What is in it for them, those that want to do this? Why are they doing this kind of question? And I've got the Eight of Sea. This is a card of sadness. It's a card of moving on from sadness, but it is also a card of transforming yourself and fundamentally changing who you are. It's like transitioning out of a situation. You're transitioning, you're changing. You're having to turn from something and move on. When I ask why is this being done, it's like transformational change. So when I ask, is there a benefit to humans being vegan, not eating any meat? Now I've got the Two of Earth upside down. Now this is a card upright. This card is a card of being in balance. When it's reversed, it can be things are out of balance or not being quite balanced. Overall, I think it's got to depend on the person. Is there a benefit to humans being vegan and not eating any meat? I'm getting that out of balance. It's probably a challenge to maintain health and balance because there's amino acids and things that you have to really search to get elsewhere when you're not consuming meat. And again, don't be offended if you're vegan out there. This is not directed at you, okay? I'm not picking on anybody who's vegan. It's a choice. I totally go with that. If you want to do that, that's fine. That's up to you. But I'm just sensing this push in the news. Okay, I think I made that clear, but I just want to say that again. There's a push right now to kind of force it on people. So that's what I'm trying to get as to why, okay? So we have that kind of not being quite balanced card. There's not quite balance. Not a balanced diet, perhaps. Will mankind eventually become vegan? That's my next question. I've got the Moon card. Now, this can be illusion. It can represent mystery, deception, possibly, but illusion, insecurity, fears, inward fears. But something about this, and it's a major arcana with that moon. There's something illusory or elusive or behind the veil regarding that question. So my next question is, do the people or the beings, again, if it's other dimensional, do the beings or people behind this push have a pure motive, pure intent for what is best for humankind? Okay, that's, I guess, the key question I'm after is, you know, why this push? Do you really have people's health and goodwill in your mind, or is this about power control kind of thing? Now I've got the Partnership card, a major arcana. This is the Lovers card. Again, this isn't about a lover relationship. This is a strategic business partnership. So when I see a strategic business partnership on whether someone has a pure intent and pure motive, I would say that there's a pact between groups or between people, and that is the motive, not the pure intent for humankind. That's what I think. And I know that that's kind of what I said at the beginning, kind of how I feel. But this card, this is, I'll show you. Let me grab my little notes here on the Lovers card. Bonds, union, values, partnerships, beliefs. It's all about union and partnerships, but coming together for a strategic purpose and a strategic mission. So I think the strategic purpose and strategic mission is this push that we're talking about. This push to push human beings to become vegan. Is that pure, born out of a pure motive and pure intent? Well, based on the other cards, it feels forced. It feels like an unwanted change. It feels like it's out of balance. These cards don't lend to this partnership being altruistic and pure in motive. Underneath this all, we have the Empress card. This is the mothering nurture card. Nurture, nature, care. This is all about self-care, caring about your body, caring about the body that you're in, your experience here on the earth, and how you're going to show up in the world, and being in good health. So, again, the choice to be vegan is up to each individual, what works best. I tried being vegetarian for a while. It did not work for me. I really had some bad experiences with it. So it's up to the individual. I don't think it's something that can be forced on a population. And I just sense with these cards that it may not be the best for everyone. Some people, sure, but not everybody as a whole. So I guess that's what I get. The other dimension part is interesting. That aspect still seems to come about because of this partnership card. I do think there is perhaps an influence otherworldly. Again, that may sound weird to some if you don't believe in other dimensions or beings, but I do think that there are parallel universes. There are things that we don't understand, that we don't know. And I do think that we are influenced by those things. Just because we don't understand them, I would say we just don't understand them yet. Maybe someday. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. This is Intuitive Edge. Bye for now.